an act to give for the constitution and discipline of the Bangladesh Army and Air Force Reserves. Whereas it's advisable to consolidate and amend the law relating to the government and discipline of the Bangladesh Army and Air Force Reserves, it's hereby legislated as follows. Short title and commencement 1. This act may be called the 1, Army and Air Force, Reserves Act, 1950. Definitions 2. In this act, unless there's anything discordant in the subject or environment, dot. Specified means specified by rules made under this act. Reserves means the reserves of the Bangladesh Army or of the Bangladesh Air Force. Reservist means a member of the reserves. Division of reserve forces 3. 1. The reserves shall correspond of the orders specified in the schedule to this act. 2. The government may, by announcement in the sanctioned review, add to, amend or vary the schedule to this act. Liability of reservists to military or Air Force law 4. An Army reservist shall be subject to the 2, Army Act, 1952, and the rules and regulations made thereunder, and an Air Force reservist shall be subject to the 3, Air Force Act, 1953, and the rules and regulations made thereunder, in similar manner and to similar extent as may be specified. Extent of liability for service 5. A reservist shall be liable to serve without the limits of Bangladesh as well as within those limits. Power to make rules 6. 1. The government may make rules to carry out the purposes of this act. 2. In particular and without prejudice to the generality of the anteceding power, similar rules may. A. Give for the constitution of, and the appointment or transfer of any person as a reservist to, the reserves. B. Define the service scores to which reservists shall be liable. C. Define journal training for any order of reservists. D. Give for and regulate the pay and allowances of reservists. E. Define the authorities by whom and the conditions subject to which the services of reservists may be terminated. F. Give for and regulate the gratuities or compensation, if any, to be paid to reservists or any order of reservists, or to any dependents of reservists, and G. Give for any other matter which under this act is to be or may be specified. 3. All rules made under this act shall be published in the sanctioned review, and on similar publication shall have effect as if legislated in this act. Power to make regulations 4. 7. The government may make regulations for all or any of the purposes of this act, other than those specified in Section 6. Omitted. Correction of Act 8 of 1911. Neglected by Section 3 and the Second Schedule of the Central Laws, Statute Reform, Ordinance, 1960, Ordinance No. 21 of 1960. Repeal 9. Repeal. Repealed by Section 2 and the First Schedule of the Repealing and Amending Constitution, 1965, Ordinance No. X of 1965.